I'm in Nyeri County now, and this is a feedlot, just to give you a feel of what it looks like. Actually, one of the owners of this feedlot has worked in Botswana before, and he will be telling us the lessons he picked from Botswana. Dr. James Gakuo Mwangi is passionate about beef cattle farming. He and his business partners are pioneers of the use of feedlots in Nyeri County. Their facility is located in Chaka location.
This feedlot is owned by First Choice Nutri-Feeds and Pioneer Feedlots, but the company is owned by two Kenyans. One is me, Dr. James Gakuo Mwangi, and the other one is Dr. B.M. Gekonyo, the CEO of Karen Hospital. We are the ones who are running this feedlot.
Feedlots are an alternative to cattle ranching and pastoral methods.
Here we are talking about applying a system where we do not really depend on the climate or the weather, because the feed that we supply here in the feedlot is manufactured feeds. We manufacture the feed, and then we get the cattle here, we feed them here, the condition here, the fatten here. The components of a concentrate feed, we talk about energy. We talk about the energy is the one that comes from the grains. We talk about proteins, that is the one that comes from the oil cakes. We talk about roughage, that is the one that is coming from the crop residues. And that is hay, that is wheat straws, that is the maize stalks, and of course the other minute nutrients that comes from the mineral manufacturer. Some of them have to be imported, of course.
To stock, they buy weak animals, especially from pastoralists.
We are coming in as interveners in the beef industry, because the beef industry in our country today is not being managed in the right way. We got only one production level, which is in the rangelands, and which is being done by the pastoralists or the pastoral farmers. And those farmers are basically at the mercy of climate and weather. These animals weaken in the rangelands, and in extreme cases, these animals, they die.
And just to demonstrate what happens, this animal came here looking like this, and you won't believe how it looks 3 months later.
Luckily, I'm a vet by profession, and then we normally have to carry out the normal disease management practices that have to be done. You can be able to keep 300 animals in 1 acre.
It takes about 3 months to purchase, fatten, and sell the animals, meaning in 1 year, one can fatten about 1,200 cattle on 1 acre.
You need to build the paddocks, like the one you see around here. You need to have the feeding area that you can accommodate all the animals, and you need adequate water.
This can also help curb theft and cattle rustling.
Basically, it can be done. It can be done in every county. It can be done in Isiolo, it can be done in Marsabit, it can be done in Lodwar, it can be done in Wajir, it can be done in Tana River. We just need to come up and set up feedlots, and we will be solving a lot of problems that we have in the country, even the conflicts that we have there, where people have to fight for diminishing resources.
Dr. Gakuo is among the Kenyan veterinary doctors who have worked in Botswana before. He has brought back home the experience he gained from the south.
I came back last year, but the beef industry in Botswana is very advanced. The larger part of the country, because it's somehow arid, semi-arid, they do intensive beef production. So we have been in that intensive beef production in ranches, in farms, and in feedlots.
I'm now in Olpejeta Conservancy in Laikipia County. Here, cattle coexist with wildlife. We've come here to understand how they do beef production. We understand Olpejeta is one of the best producers of beef in the country. How do they do it?
We actually keep about 7,500 cattle on Olpejeta. And altogether we have about 85,000 acres to graze on.
Olpejeta Conservancy is situated in Nanyuki between the foothills of the Aberdares and Mount Kenya. It works to conserve wildlife, generate income through wildlife tourism for reinvestment in conservation for community development. The Conservancy is one of the few in the country where wildlife and livestock coexist. It operates a successful livestock program. They also support the provision of agriculture and livestock extension services to the surrounding community.
Olpejeta Conservancy is owned by Fauna and Flora International, and they are a conservation group. This is the ideal animal for these conditions. They're bred for conditions in Laikipia and the Rift Valley, and most of Kenya in fact, and they produce high quality beef off grass, and they are more resistant to diseases which the wildlife can bring on than other cattle, and that is why we have the Baran here.
How is what you are doing different from what we know as feedlots?
We're producing beef off the land, off the grass. Feedlots need feed, grain, in the form of maize or barley or something which Kenya doesn't produce enough for its people, let alone for cattle. Here we what we call extensive ranching, not to spend lots of money on expensive input like feedlots. We deliver carcasses, whole carcasses, to Nairobi butchers twice a week. Fresh.
I thought you are one of the licensed for export.
We're not licensed for export, and seeing we can't even fulfill the Nairobi market, we're not even looking for export market. But also we do a lot of export of our breeding stock, and that's to our neighbouring countries, Uganda and Tanzania especially, Zambia and South Africa.
Finally, in this show, let's shift our attention to the role of the Kenya Animal Genetic Resources Center that is based in Kabete, Nairobi, but has distribution centers across the country.
We mainly do production and distribution of semen to the counties for purposes of use in AI services. The semen for beef breed, that's the Baran, and we have also the semen for the Zaiwo breed, which is quite popular within the Asau areas and within the areas where beef breeding would do well. The semen goes at 250 shillings per dose. We advise on which breeds we should have for purposes of beef production. So the difference between use of the live bull for mating and our semen for AI is that ours is disease-free, and also we are able to fast-track, ensure that conception occurs when it's due. We have also technologies which have come up like the IVF, the embryo transfer, the importation for beef production, semen for beef production. We sometimes have imported from Brazil for purposes of improving our local or indigenous beef breeds. We also import from the US, even Europe, and also South Africa. And as well, we export the same. Like we export a lot of our semen and embryos, brand semen and embryos to South Africa, and even to Australia.
In this show, we value your feedback and contribution.
We begin with Hilary Rutich's tweet. He says, beef farming is an untapped investment. Alice Gitar Wambua says, All I know is that beef farming, like any other farming, is not for the faint-hearted. Dr. Kenneth Wameyo notes that disease control and movement of animals are two major obstacles. Joyce Ndanu tweets, "When I read this tweet, I remembered the feature of the Kenyan doing beef farming in Botswana." Alex Sabuni comments about the same, saying he will visit the farm should he land in Botswana. Commenting on observations that Botswana is ahead of Kenya, yet she benefited from Kenyan expertise, Fiona wonders why the student became better than the teacher and where the teacher went wrong. Alvin Kinyua is thrilled at the choice of topics for this show. AK Rono adds, "You are the real trendsetter. I admire your work. Topical discussions, fresh and decisive." For the Chamwada Report, I am Robert Randall.
That's all we had time for. The discussion continues. Next, Farm to Fork, a look at modern ways of tracking animals and the meat that ends up on your plate.